Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good evening. Just here after 4:30, you can call it either. James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vows from here from Florence, Montana, as the Valkyries get ready to take on the Lady Falcons of Florence High School. We got to run a little bit late behind with the JV boys game just wrapping up, an exciting game. I'll get to that score here a little bit later. Pre-game brought to you by Bigfork Harvest Foods. For all your grocery needs, it includes an amazing bakery and deli. 8111 Highway 35 in Bigfork. 837-5010, Marcus Bagos, Kelly Bagos and the gang at Bigfork Harvest Foods. Thank them for sponsoring Bigfork Athletics. 406-270-7384. Text me, let me know you're listening out there. You got the ball game on as the Valkyries part of 5 games today. And I'll get you the scores, the other ones. They get ready to take on the Lady Falcons here in Florence, Montana. And I had a chance to sit down with the head coach for the Valkyries, Courtney Gunlock, before the ball game. And this is what she said about her team and what's been going on this season and today's ball game as they take on the Lady Falcons. All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Florence, Montana. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vows. Here, coach of the Valkyries, Courtney Gunlock. The Valkyries get ready to take on the Florence Lady Falcons. You guys are 8-0 in the season. You took the first half of your division. You're 5-0 after a big win against Thompson Falls on Thursday. Talk about that game and that win against them. Because you pretty much blew them out there. And what got you going and to put that away? Because I thought it would be maybe a little bit closer game.
Yeah, I think, the motto we've kind of stuck with is every game we got to get a little better, right? Every day a little better, every practice a little better. And so that was our goal, come out fast, come out hard, and try to make a statement. And they came out and defensively, I don't know how many steals we had, but we played great D and we shut their best player down, Ellie Baxter, to 5 points.
Yeah, you guys seemed, I was looking at the score because we were playing the boys obviously at home, so we didn't do like we're split where I could go broadcast the game, so I'm sorry I missed out on that. But a big win there. You guys are playing very well at a high level. Only one really close game, that was Sioux Falls. So we go out of conference and we take on Florence today, the Lady Falcons. And I understand talking to them, they're 1-7 on the team, so they're a little not as talented as they have been in the past. So what's your mindset going in today's ball game?
Our mindset is we definitely want to play our game. We don't want to play down. We want to continue to improve on the little things that we feel we need to continue to improve on to be competitive at the next level. Unfortunately, I heard that one of their starters hurt her knee on Tuesday, so they're even shorter than they were. So we just got to get out here, play our game, stay injury-free, and continue to get better.
Well, I think that's probably the key to you guys this year is the talent you have, playing up to your level, but what forces it, we talked about this many times, the shot clock. It really forces you to get really into your offense right away and get moving, and you guys don't get the shot clock called at just that one time in the opening tip-off tournament. So you guys, any one of your 5 starters and kids coming off the bench can score from anywhere at any time, and you see that in the scorebook at the end of the ball game. So talk about your team overall, and about halfway through the season, right? 8-0, so you're going to play 16 games, or I think it's 18 before you get into the postseason. So talk about your team and the kids coming off the bench.
Yeah, we continue to stress to them that it takes a whole team to be successful, and we're continuing to work with them, and they're getting better, and we need them. We need depth. You never know when you have an illness or we get in foul trouble, and it's a program. When seniors graduate, those ones are going to step up the next year. So, it's a process, but I've just been very proud of them. Against Sioux Falls, every one of our players scored.
Oh, that's always good for a coach and makes the kids feel good, and then they get involved in the game, and that makes them, your starting 5 is phenomenal. You have two seniors on there, Scout and Madison, right, who you lose next year. But this year, and then you have a couple sophomores and a freshman starting for you. But I look at the ones coming off the bench. Your solid starting five is absolutely solid, but some of your kids coming off the bench could start at some schools. I mean, I look at Callie Gambala. I mean, really tough underneath and in the paint shooting-wise. Kenny Way can shoot from the outside. Ellie Jort can do inside, outside. And Afton Lambrick, right? I know she hurt her ankle earlier, but been able to play. So talk about those kids.
Yeah. I mean, Callie Gambala is solid. She would be starting for any other team. And so, it's just kind of one of those things with the depth we have this year, but we rely on her a lot. She gets a lot of minutes every game, and she's a huge part of our offense and defense. She plays multiple positions, which is making her more versatile than last year. So that's been really great to see that growth. Ellie Jort, she's a senior. She's been here. She's experienced. She brings leadership when I have to take some of my other seniors off the floor, and she's great at defense, and she's stepping up on offense as well. And then there's Kenny Wade, who's a phenomenal shooter, right? She's really stepping up. I've seen great things out of her defensive and offensively. And Afton Lambert, her defense and her speed brings something that, I can put her in and I can rest a Maddie or Braden that has to guard one of the better players and still feel comfortable that, they're going to be we're going to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the way your team plays. I've seen, obviously, a lot of games. And at Bigfork, I would say, in my experience of 17 years, this is the best team that I think as Bigfork overall has had. So the starting five and then the depth you have with kids coming off the bench, I mean, because anyone can come in the game and they can score from anywhere. You're five. I mean, Scout, I know she's posting underneath, but she can shoot from the outside. Same thing with Madison and Ava, and obviously Braden and Peyton. And, Peyton, last game, like you said, 14 assists. That's huge. I mean, you got that point guard that can really run the show and dish it to the open girls to make the buckets.
Yeah, no, Peyton is getting more comfortable with this group of girls, and vice versa. They're getting comfortable with her and knowing where she expects them to be because she sees the floor so well, and yeah, she only had 6 points, but she had 11 assists, but that's impressive. We need that. But she can step up and score anytime we need it to.
Yeah, but you want your point guard to handle the basketball, bring it across the timeline, get into your offense, find the open, and then can still make the shots when you need her. And she plays great defense. She's so fast, right? All these girls, I mean, on the starting five are fast girls on the court, and that's what I think you get out and you run and do a great job there. Yeah, no,
I just can't be luckier to have the speed we have and have height with that speed, and they're just I cannot say enough what a great group of girls they are and how unselfish they are, and it's just been a really fun year so far.
Well, that talks to you, Coach, about how you coach them. They're just a great team. I think they love and respect each other. And, I know Peyton really works with Braden. I mean, you can tell they're sisters, and they played together before. So that's those things you see on the court that many people might not see, but, watching enough basketball, I can see it, that they read each other, right, very, very well. And that helps to the way your team plays. They play with class, they play with good sportsmanship, and just a great bunch of kids.
They are. And the one thing we've really been focused on is communicating on the floor, because I know they all have voices and sometimes they're quiet, but I definitely feel like the last couple games that's improving.
Well, I mean, talking about Peyton being a freshman, obviously learning her role as a freshman coming in, that's always tough, when you get to high school, it's a different ball game. But I'm really looking forward to today's ball game. Next week you get back into conference play with Eureka at home on Tuesday, so good to have you at home. And then we go to Mission or St. Ignatius next Saturday, and then we'll have some more home games coming down the road. So good luck today. I'm looking forward again to watching you guys play today, and I know you guys will be just fine. You guys get out and run like you do, and you guys will do well.
Thank you.
So let's go Vals.
Go Vals.
All right, the head coach, Courtney Gunlock, on the pregame show here from Florence, Montana, as the Valkyries get ready to take on the Lady Falcons here in non-conference Western B action. Could see these two teams again. We could see Lady Falcons in divisionals that will come up in February in Anaconda. Districts will be in Eureka, divisionals Anaconda, and state in Great Falls. So I'll be back with the starting lineups here from Florence, Montana, as the Bigfork Valkyries take on the Florence Lady Falcons here on BFST Events here on YouTube. 406-270-7384. Text me, let me know. I'll give you a shout out here on the broadcast. All right, welcome back to Florence, Montana. And starting lineup brought to you by Hanson Excavating, demolition and site preparation, excavating and grading. In business for 30 years. Fred Hanson, 837-1051 or hansonexcavating.com. Here's, first of all, the starting lineups. Like I was talking to one of the guys here, unfortunately, the other night, Taylor Payette, their leading scorer and starter, is out. Tore up her knee, so that's not good. Just a freshman and a good freshman for them. But their starting lineups is a 5'4" junior guard, captain number 21, Olivia Coulter. A freshman guard at 5'4", number 22, Maggie Schneider. At 5'7", junior guard, number 23, Quinn Skaggs. At 5'5", senior guard, captain number 24, Josie Lewis. And then a 5'11", sophomore forward, number 34, Kenzie Pickering. As I was talking to Brian Newman, the head coach that leads the way. Assisted by Charlene Brett, Holly Pickering, and Adam Tranmer. That they're young, so, and they are only two seniors on the team. And Trista Williams will get in the ball game later. It's after ankle issues. It's her first game, or second game, on the season. Starting lineup for the Valkyries. At 5'10", power forward, senior, captain number 10, Madison Japius. The point guard, a freshman at 5'8", number 14, Peyton Gunlock. At 5'7", sophomore guard, number 15, Ava Davey. At 6 foot even guard, power forward, sophomore number 21, the captain, Braden Gunlock. And then a 5'11", post, senior, captain number 21, scout and AD for head coach Courtney Gunlock. Assisted by Brandy Couture, Paula Sullivan, and Isaac Martell. That's your starting lineups for today's ball game here from Florence.
On the score, your own Florence Falcons.
And we'll get ready to do the starting lineups again, the anthem here, and I'll stay right here. Yeah. Starting lineups again brought to you by Hanson Excavating. And get ready to tip it here from Florence, Montana, as the Valkyries get ready to take on the Lady Falcons in Western B action here.
There is no smoking or use of tobacco products on campus at all times. And at this time, we ask able-bodied Americans to please stand and remove non-uniform hats as we recognize the United States of America with the playing of our national anthem by the Florence Carlton Pep Band under the direction of Miss Jennifer Kirby.
All right, Florence Pet Band playing the national anthem here, and Tyler will get ready to do the starting lineups. He does a nice job down here. Tyler Scully.
A 5'10" senior powerful number 10 Madison Champions.
Hey, Tristan.
A 5'8" freshman guard, number 14.
All right. Well, while that's going on, I'll give you scores from earlier. In girls action, we just had JV Bigfork girls winning that one 50-17. And going over on the boys' side in freshman action, or C squad, if you will, Bigfork 52-28 over Florence. And an exciting went down to the end with free throws and basically a one possession, and Bigfork able to pull that one out as Bigfork wins that one 52-49 over Florence. So the Valkyries taking care of business today against Florence. And we're ready to get underway here from Florence, Montana.
For your homestanding Lady Falcons, a 5'4" junior guard, number 21, Olivia Coulter. A 5'4" freshman guard.
And they're introducing
Number 22, Maggie Snyder.
the Lady Falcons. Getting out with that one started today, so.
Number 23, Gwen Scott. In a 5'5" senior guard, number 24, Josie Lewis.
And we get ready to tip things off here. Tip off brought to you by the Montana Athletic Club. What's keeping you from getting fit? Just get a guest passes, personal trainings, Pilates, 850 Holt Drive in Bigfork, Montana, 837-2582. All right, we're ready to tip things here in Florence, Montana. Between the Valkyries. Gunlock, so Florence in their white with maroon numbers, a little gold trim. Gunlock tipping it up against Pickering. Bigfork wins it. Davey, top of the key. They're in their powder blues with the white numbers. And Peyton Gunlock at the top of the key. Guarded man-to-man defense by the Falcons. Over to Chapius. Chapius looking underneath. Davey on the right. Baseline drive. Gets it up under Chapius. Off the glass is good. Scores it for two by Madison Chapius. Nice pass underneath by Ava Davey. Quickly up. Schneider with the basketball. Throws cross court just over the Braden Gunlock's hands. Chapius steals the pass intended underneath. Braden quickly up. Finds it. Peyton Gunlock gets it over, dishes it to Ava David. Davey off the glass for two. And the Valkyries up 4-0 already here on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. They'll give it over to Lewis. Lewis top of the key. By side. Chapius steps in the passing lane. Going to drive it up. Dishes underneath. Ava Davey off the glass. Scores it for two with the right hand. A quick 6-0 lead for the Valkyries here in Florence. Bring it up at court. Be the point guard, Olivia Coulter. Coulter will give it over to Lewis. Lewis, man-to-man defense by the Valkyries. Lewis looking. Gets it out to Schneider. Schneider. Pass. Tipped away by Bigfork. Knocked out of bounds. It'll remain Lady Falcon basketball. 6:40 to go here in the first quarter. 17 seconds on the shot clock. They'll try to get it inbound to Schneider. Over the head. And Braden Gunlock reaches across. She's going to get called for the personal. Pass intended for Quinn Skaggs. That is the first personal and first team foul on Bigfork. Again, Schneider looking to get it in. Nadeau is going to make the steal, gives it up. Chapius all the way up the court. There's Peyton Gunlock off the glass. Left hand is good for 2. And the Lady Falcons will take a timeout. 6:30 to go here in the first quarter. And the Valkyries run out to a 8-0 lead here on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard here from Florence, Montana. Once again, 406-270-7384. Text me, let me know you're listening out there. And we'll stay right here. A 30-second timeout taken by Florence. And the Valkyries up 8-0 on the Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. So Bigfork back again in their powder blues with white numbers. White striping or white on the shoulders as well. Florence will inbound, give it to Snyder. Snyder across the timeline for the Falcons. Kicks it over to Coulter. Throws it back to Snyder. And Snyder diving out of bounds loses it. And turnover to Bigfork. Ione Plummer on the save. And Peyton Gunlock will bring it to the top of the key. Going to set up the offense for Bigfork. Gives it over. Braden. Madison Chapius up and under. Off the glass with the left hand. A nice job there by Chapius. And a good pass by Gunlock inside to her. Schneider quickly over to Coulter. Coulter, pressure defense by Davey. Stolen away by Peyton Gunlock. Dribbles, gets on the floor. Up to Chapius, up to Davey. Davey off the glass for 2. And the Valkyries up 12-0 here on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. Pressure defense, man-to-man. Over to Lewis. Lewis underneath looking. Stolen away. Davey. He's going to dribble up the left side. Davey looking to pull it out. Gives it up. Braden Gunlock thought about the 3. Going to feed it underneath to Chapius. She's going to get fouled on the play. That'll be out on the far side. That's the first team foul on the Lady Falcons. And the first personal on 21, Olivia Coulter. Number 10, Taylor Payette checking in the ball game for the Lady Falcons. Inbound, Davey will give it up to Peyton Gunlock. Gunlock, top of the key, looks up Chapius, free throw line, out to Braden Gunlock, right side, three-point shot on the way out the rim, no good, but Chapius right there with the rebound, puts it up left-handed for 2 for Madison Chapius. Snyder across the timeline. And Taylor Payette going to get called for the team control foul as she sets the illegal screen on Peyton Gunlock. So Gunlock to Gunlock. That's Braden to Peyton to get the ball in. Peyton, right side looking. Gives it over to Braden. Backed out to Peyton. Peyton tried to kick it. Kicked by Schneider. It'll be Bigfork basketball on the side as they kick it. And they'll reset the shot clock to 35. Davey to inbound. Gets it up to Peyton. Peyton, Gunlock, over to Braden Gunlock. Thought about the 3. Cross court. And stolen away by Lewis on the cross-court pass. And Nadeau reaching in. Going to get called for the personal. That's the first personal on Scout Nadeau. Second team foul. And number 30, Ellie Jort checking in for Bigfork. Checking in, number 50, Trista Williams for Florence. Into Schneider. Schneider over to Lewis. Lewis looking to drive. Kicks it out. Knocked away by Peyton. Peyton's going to go coast to coast off the glass for 2. So Gunlock with a steal and takes it all the way to the bucket. Lewis back to Schneider. Schneider looking to drive. Cut off. Lewis underneath. Shoots it off the glass for 2. The first 2 points for Florence. Jort into Peyton Gunlock. Gunlock top of the key. For Chapius. Chapius off to the races. Traveled. That's a good call by the official. Madison had a wide open lane, was going to drive it to the bucket, but took off with steps before putting the ball down. So turnover to Florence. Schneider across the timeline. We'll give over to Lewis. Lewis right side pressure put on man-to-man defense by Bigfork. Davey on Lewis, underneath the Payette, knocked away. Scout Nadeau grabs it, and then she gets fouled in the backcourt. Fouls on number 10, Taylor Payette. Her second, third team foul. Braden Gunlock back in. And checking in, Callie Gambala, number 24. And Nadeau and Davey will take a seat, get a breather for the Valkyries. Peyton quickly across, timeline underneath. Chapius looking out. Braden Gunlock, left side, looks it up, gives it underneath. Callie Gambala out to Peyton Gunlock. Free throw line, jumper, no good. Rebounded there by 34 Pickering. Pressure defense put on by Peyton. Give it over to Lewis. Lewis will bring it across the timeline for the Lady Falcons. Out. Goes underneath to Tristan Williams. Tristan Williams off the glass. Scores the bucket through a couple of Valkyries into Peyton from Jort. Peyton across the timeline looking. Braden Gunlock, left wing, three-point shot on the way is good by Braden Gunlock. Missed the first one, but made the second inbound. So 19-4 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. The Valkyries lead here with 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Lewis looking to drive. And a blocking foul will be called on Bigfork. That's on number 30, Ellie Jort. That's her first, third team foul. And 21, Coulter. 23, Skaggs returning to the lineup for Florence, replacing Payette and Williams for the Falcons. Pickering. Lewis off the glass, no good. Check that. Pickering off the glass, no good. Chapius quickly up. Peyton Gunlock, right side. Going to bring it out front and set it up for Bigfork. Left side. Underneath, Callie Gambala trying to feed it baseline. Short with it. Out to Peyton Gunlock. And Peyton will get fouled by Josie Lewis. And that's her first. And the 14th foul on the Falcons into Peyton. Right side, Jort. Braden, left side. Chapius underneath. Chapius brings it out, finds Gambala. Gambala loses it, picks it back up. Chapius with a loose ball. Look, driving in the corner. On the way, three-point shot off the rim, no good. Braden Gunlock will run it down for Bigfork. Chapius stepping through, up underneath. Had Gambala knocked out of bounds by Florence. 2:20 to go here in the first quarter. 19-4 here on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. The Valkyries lead. And the Valkyries will take a 30-second timeout here with 2:20 to go here in the first quarter. And I'll be right back here with more of the first quarter from Florence, Montana. All right. Florence drum line playing here in the timeouts. Jennifer Kirby, the director. Bigfork basketball. Jort will inbound to Peyton Gunlock. Gunlock will bring it out top of the key. Chapius at the free throw line looking to drive. Back out to Peyton. Peyton top of the key looking underneath. Trying to find her sister Braden. Over. Back out to Chapius. Chapius loses it underneath. Florence. And Ava Davey will come in for Peyton Gunlock. And Scout Nadeau will return to the lineup for Bigfork, replacing Madison Chapius as they get their first break of the ball game here in the first quarter with 2:03 to go. And 21, Coulter, the basketball. Nearly stolen by Bigfork. Skaggs will throw it over. Snyder can't handle it. Gambala comes up with it. Looking up, finds Davey. Davey looking to drive and go underneath. And knocked out of bounds by Florence. And that's by 24, Lewis. It'll remain Bigfork basketball underneath their own basket near side. Oh, check that. They called it off Bigfork. I thought it was off Florence. So, inbound. Coulter will give it over to Lewis. Lewis guarded by Ellie Jort. Lewis. Pickering. 2-point shot from the baseline is good. Into Davey. Davey will bring it across the timeline for Bigfork. Looking, finds Braden Gunlock, left wing, underneath Caligambala. Davey, top of the key, 3 on the way, in and out, but Braden right there. Gunlock gets the rebound, puts it up with the left hand for 2. And 21-6 now on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. The Valkyries lead. Coulter gives it up to Lewis. Lewis, right side, guarded by Davey. Davey steals it away momentarily. Schneider on the drive, puts it up left-handed. Quickly into Jort to Davey. Davey across the timeline looking. Braden Gunlock, back to Davey. Underneath, Scout Nadeau. Nadeau looking to drive. And they're going to call a held ball. It'll be Florence basketball as Peyton Gunlock and Madison Chapius come in for Jort and Gambala here with 39.5 to go here in the first quarter. Snyder. Coulter. Braden Gunlock steals it. Up to Davey. We got a 3-on-1. Davey looking. Feeds it out. Peyton Gunlock, 3-point shot on the way. Off. No good. Right there. Chapius grabs the rebound from Bigfork. Gets it out. Braden Gunlock, 3 on the way. Gets it to drop as it rolls around the rim and drops for 3 by Braden Gunlock. Hit off the rim, bounced up and bounced around and fell down. Schneider will get Coulter. Lewis, 2 seconds to go. Braden throws it full court. Misses it at the buzzer. So 1 quarter complete here from Florence, Montana. It is the Bigfork Valkyries 24, the Florence Lady Falcons 8 on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. I'll be back with the second quarter here from Florence, Montana. All right, we're ready for the second quarter. It'll be Valkyrie basketball here as they're up 24-8 on your Bigfork Harvest scoreboard after 1. And Gunlock, Chapius, Davey, and Nadeau to start. Davey, left side, out to Peyton Gunlock, over to Braden Gunlock. Braden Gunlock, top of the key. Peyton swings it over. Ava Davey, jumper, baseline, rolls around and drops for 2 for Ava Joe Davey. And Schneider with the basketball for Florence. Davey right there. Man-to-man defense by Bigfork. Throws it in the corner. You have Payette in the game. Pickering. Coulter. Williams. (23) Skaggs. 32. Taryn Applehands in for Florence. And checking in, number 32, Kenny Wade for the Valkyries. Which will come in for Ava Davey. Baseline, Coulter. Knocked away, stolen by Braden Gunlock. Quickly up to Chapius. Chapius, right side looking. Going to get it over to Peyton Gunlock. Gunlock, top of the key. Going to set up the offense for Bigfork. It's like a zone defense, a 1-2-2 defense. Kenny Wade underneath, gives it up to Scout Nadeau. Braden comes in, fights, gets it, puts it up. And they're going to call traveling on Braden. And 34, Kenzie Pickering will come in for Williams. 22, Snyder back in the ballgame, replacing Coulter for Florence. 7:03 to go here at the halftime. Schneider with the basketball across the timeline, guarded by Wade. Top of the key. Give it over to Skaggs. Skaggs guarded by Peyton. Going to trap Lewis in the corner. Blocked by Braden Gunlock as a shot put up by Schneider. It'll remain Florence basketball here. Schneider to inbound underneath on the far side, under their own basket, gets it quickly underneath, knocked away, held ball. Wade will tie it up with 23 Skaggs. It'll be Florence basketball on the held ball. 0 points that way. Coulter back in. Olivia Coulter for Florence, and she'll replace Taylor Payette. Snyder to inbound, quickly gets it in. Over to Coulter. Coulter right side, guard by Braden Gunlock. Quickly underneath. Right to Chapia, steps in front. Gives it up to Braden. Braden up, under, off the glass, misses it. And Payette comes up, or check that, Coulter with a rebound. Coulter quickly up the court, and she'll bring it out for Florence. Over to Pickering. Out to Lewis. Over to Schneider. Schneider looking to drive. Guarded by Kenny Wade. Schneider stopped right there. 32. Applehands will give it up. Diving on the floor. Can't get it from going out of bounds is Pickering. Turnover by Florence to Bigfork. 6:14 to go here on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. 26-8, the Valkyries lead. In the Gunlock. Peyton, top of the key, looking. Get a pull up. Thought about the three. Braden, scout they do. Baseline. Look up, under, off the glass. Oh, misses it, but Chapius goes up, gets the rebound, and she'll go shoot 2 free throws as she got fouled. And the foul's on number 34, Kenzie Pickering. Chapius at the line for 2. First on Pickering, 15th foul. Shot up is good by Chapius. 24, Callie Gabala will come in for Scout Nadeau. And Chapius will get one more. Shot up, in and out. Rebounded by Pickering. Quickly up, saved. Give it over to Coulter. Coulter will bring it across the timeline for Florence. Peyton Gunlock to meet her right there. Gives it over to Skaggs. Schneider with the basketball. Kenny Wade Gardner right there. Give it up to Pickering, or check that. Applehands. Out to Coulter. We'll give it up to Lewis. Lewis top of the key. Knocked away, block. Chapius trying to save it. Going to save it. Braden Gunlock off the backboard and good. And a nice save by Madison Chapius. Braden hit it away. Chapius saved from going out of bounds. Tipped it right to Braden. Braden able to finish with the bucket. Underneath. Out Pickering. Schneider. Underneath. Right there is Callie Gambala. Shot thrown up is good by Pickering. Chapius with the foul. First personal. 15 foul on Bigfork. 24 Josie Lewis. And 50 Trista Williams back in for Florence. 5:09 to go here till halftime. 29-10 on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. The Valkyries late. And one shot. Rebounded by Coulter as Braden battles with her and getting a call for the personal. And that'll be the second one on Braden. And Ellie Jort will come in replacing Braden. 16 foul on Bigfork. And timeout taken. A 30-second timeout. 29-10 here on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. Here from Florence, Montana. The Valkyries lead this one. Don't forget, we have the Vikings coming up after this one. They will take on the Falcons. A 5-game set here in Florence today. Boys C squad, followed by girls JV, boys JV, girls varsity, and boys varsity. And at the line. Or check that. They'll call it on the ground. So Florence will take it out. Far side underneath. Lewis looking. Throws it up. Pickering. Off the glass for 2 is Kenzie Pickering. Gets it into Peyton Gunlock. Gunlock across the timeline. Peyton looking. Kenny Wade, 3-point shot on the way. No good off the rim. Williams with the rebound. We'll give it over to Lewis. Lewis quickly up, looking to drive all the way. Right there. Rebounded there by Kenny Wade underneath. Held ball. It'll be Bigfork basketball. Scout Nadeau back in for the Valkyries. And number 10, Taylor Payette returning for the Lady Falcons. Callie Gambala will get a breather for the Valkyries. Peyton Gunlock. Over to Jort. Jort left corner. Back out to Peyton. Peyton looking. Run the offense. Over to Jort. George 3-point shot on the way is good from the left corner. Senior Allie Jort for 3. Quickly up. Lewis with the basketball. Guarded by Wade. Lewis going to drive in there. Quickly up. Give it up. Peyton. But knocked away and stolen by Pickering. Coulter looking to drive. Throws it off the glass. Going to bounce around. Lewis gets the rebound. Puts it up. Scores and will go to the free throw line. Is Trista Williams. That's the second personal on Ellie Jort. 7th foul. 22. Maddie Schneider. 32. Taryn Applehands back in for Florence. And Trista Williams at the line to shoot the N1 for Florence. 4:02 to go here in the first half. Shot up, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Chapius. We'll give it up. Payette knocks it away. Applehands off the glass, no good. Payette underneath. And losing it out of bounds is Schneider. And Skaggs will come back in for Trista Williams. Jort to inbound for Bigfork. Chapius out. Scout Nadeau back in. Peyton. Braden Gunlock back to Peyton. In the corner, Ellie Jort. Left corner. Cross court. Kenny Wade looking. Pump fake drives. Get the Nadeau. Nadeau off the glass. They're going to call Scout Nadeau with a player control foul. That is her second and 8th team foul on Bigfork. No free throws on that. Schneider over to Lewis. Lewis loses it, but gives it over to Applehan. Schneider. Lewis with the basketball. Jort nearly stealing it. Knocks it out of bounds. To remain Lady Falcons basketball. 21, Olivia Coulter back in for the Lady Falcons. 3:21 to go, 32-14. The Valkyries lead here on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. Schneider to inbound. Looking, cross court. Braden Gunlock steals it. Sees Peyton, gets it up to Peyton. Peyton grabs it. Held ball. It'll be Florence basketball here. And into Coulter. Coulter with the basketball. Over to Schneider. Schneider right side. Way good pressure defense. 3-point shot on the way. Missed. Payette gets the rebound. Misses it. Braden Gunlock with the rebound for Bigfork. She'll get fouled on the rebound. And 16 foul. That's the third on number 10, Taylor Payette. And 34, Kenzie Pickering will replace her for the Lady Falcons. 3 minutes exactly to go here in the first half. Jort into Nadeau. And Afton Lambrecht at the scores table to check in. Peyton gets it up. Braden back out to Peyton. Scout Nadeau looking to drive. Up off the glass. Good for 2 for Scout Nadeau. Coulter for the Falcons. Cross timeline. The corner knocked away by Jort. Jort with a steal. Tried to get it to Peyton Gunlock. Couldn't quite get it there. Josie Lewis on the drive. Scout tried to take the charge as Skaggs drove in. I believe that's the third personal on Scout Nadeau. 9th team foul. And Quinn Skaggs will go to the line to shoot 2 for the Lady Falcons. First shot up off the rim, no good. Chapius and and Afton Lambrecht in the lineup for Bigfork now. And Lewis will get one more for Florence. Shot up, rolls around the rim and falls. Quickly in, Peyton Gunlock. Cross the timeline for Bigfork. Over to Kenny Wade. Kenny Wade left side, back to Peyton. Braden Gunlock, right side. Peyton, top of the key. Thought about the three. Look in the corner. Braden, right corner, looking to drive. Kicks it up, gives it to Chapius. Chapius. And they'll call traveling on Madison. Inside the key. Turnover to Florence. 2:10 to go here. 34-15 on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. Coulter over to Lewis. Lewis on the drive. Throws it up left hand, no good. Chapius grabs the rebound. A strong rebound by Chapius. And Braden Gunlock, top of the key. Peyton, three-point, thought about the three-point shot. Underneath to Peyton. Chapius looking, grabbed by Afton Lambrecht. And she's going to go to the free throw line as the foul's at number 22, Maggie Schneider. Her first 17th foul. And Afton Lambrecht at the line for a 1-and-1. .144 to go here. Lambrecht shot up and good. And Afton will get one more for the Valkyries. Number 50, Trista Williams back in for the Lady Falcons. Replacing 23, Quinn Skaggs for Florence. One more for Afton here. Up by 20, 35-15. Under Hansen excavating scoreboard. She gets the roll off the rim, off the backboard, and drops it in. Quickly in. It's Coulter. Give it over to Lewis. Lewis looking to drive. Back out to Schneider. Schneider. Williams way out there. Throws it. Bounce pass to Coulter. Cut off by Peyton Gunlock. Coulter looking to drive. Loses underneath right to Chapius. Chapius thought about it. Gives it up to Peyton. Peyton looking underneath. Over. Far side. Braden Gunlock. Kenny Wade, three-point shot on the way. Off the rim, no good, but Braden right there gets the rebound, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot two. As she gets the rebound, puts it back up, and gets fouled. Foul's number 24, Josie Lewis. That's her second 18th foul on the Lady Falcons with 1:12 to go here until halftime. And Braden Gunlock at the line for the Valkyries for two. First shot up is good. Number 32, Taryn Applehands in for Florence. Number 15, Ava Joe Davy checking in for the Valkyries for Peyton Gunlock. And Braden with one more. Shot up. Bounces around, no good. Rebounded by Trista Williams. Stolen away by Lambrecht. Afton doing a nice job. And they'll call it out of bounds off Florence. Bigfork basketball with 1:07 to go. Davey gets it in. Braden underneath. Chapius inside the free throw line. Good. Madison Chapius with a nice turnaround jumper for two. Under a minute to go here in the first half. 39-15. On your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. And illegal dribble on Coulter. Turnover to Bigfork. 23, Josie Lewis back in. Replacing Trista Williams. That's her second game back, so they're playing her randomly, limiting her time. For Florence, Ava Joe Davy at the point for Bigfork. Look, Kenny Wade, left side. Over to Braden. Braden, three-point shot of the way. Off the rim, no good. Afton trying to battle with it. Josie Lewis, or Skaggs with the rebound. Coulter, top of the key. Will give it over to Schneider. Schneider looking to drive. Kenny Wade, up, under, off the glass, no good. And she'll get two. And that person will be called on 32. Kenny Wade. That should be her first and 19th foul. And number 22, Maggie Schneider at the line, shooting two. Shot up, rolls off the rim, no good. And she'll get one more. 39-15 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. With 27.2 to go here in the first half. Shot clock is off. So the Valkyries can hold for one. Second shot off the rim, drops. Ava Davey looking. Far side, Chapius. It's got Braden wide open. Top of the key, Braden looking to set it up. Gives it over Wade. Wade looking, driving. Braden gunlock. Thought about the three. Kenny Wade, top of the key. 10 seconds to go. Ava Davey in the corner, gives it out. Chapius up, under. Left-handed off the glass, scores it for two. And a nice shot by Madison Chapius. Three-point shot on the way from half court by Coulter at the buzzer. No good here. So halftime, the Valkyries lead 41-16 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. I'll be back with stats from halftime here from Florence, Montana. All right, welcome back here to Florence, Montana halftime. Valkyries leading this one 41-16. Halftime brought to you by Averill's Flathead Lake Lodge, where they're proudly supported Bigfork Athletics since 1945. Scoring-wise for the Lady Falcons, Maggie Schneider with 3. Quincy Skaggs with 1. Kenzie Pickering lead the way with tied, actually, her and Trista Williams. Both with 6. 10 in the first and 6 in the second for 16 overall at halftime. Take a look at the Valkyries. Madison Chapius really stepping up. 6 in the first, 5 in the second, 11 overall. Ava Davey with 8. Afton Lambrecht 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Braden Gunlock nailed 2 threes. Had 8 in the first, 3 in the second. So 11 overall, leading and tied with Madison Chapius with the overall lead at halftime. 2 for Scout Nadeau. Ellie Jordan nails a 3 from the left corner for 3 points. And Peyton Gunlock scores 2 in the first 2 buckets and 4 points at halftime. So 24 in the first and 17 in the second. For 41 at halftime. So 41-16 on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. The Valkyries lead here from Florence, Montana in a Western B action here on a Saturday. Don't forget, coming up, it will be at home. The Valkyries finally a home game. They'll take on Eureka, the Lady Lions, coming up on Tuesday. And then next Saturday we'll be at Mission, broadcasting those games as we have a doubleheader going on between the Vikings and Valkyries and the Mission Bulldogs, the Lady Bulldogs. We'll have all the action live on BFST events like we are today. I'll be back with the second half of this ball game. 41-16. The Valkyries lead on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard from Florence, Montana. Well, welcome back to Florence, Montana. Get ready for the second half. It'll be Florence basketball to start the third quarter. And the Valkyries leading on this one 41-16, so up by 25 at halftime. And second half, third quarter, brought to you by the Montana Athletic Club. We're ready to go get underway. Same starters for both teams, I believe. Yep, as I'm looking, and I'll get to those. Coulter, Snyder, Skaggs, Lewis, and Pickering. For Florence, for Bigfork, Peyton Gunlock, Chapius, Braden Gunlock, Davey, and Scout Nadeau. Into Schneider. Schneider across time. We'll get over to Skaggs. Skaggs looking off the leg of Braden Gunlock. And it'll be a kick ball. It'll remain Florence basketball. 406-270-7384 if you're listening out there. Let me know. Into the backcourt to Snyder from Lewis. Quickly Crott. Give it up to Skaggs. Skaggs left side. Underneath. Tipped by Bigfork. But Coulter gets it. Going to get throwaway over back violation. They call it tipping. Braden Gunlock steals it. Gives it up to Chapius. Chapius looking up, under, drives. And they call Chapius for a travel. He tried to go in and drive it. And Schneider across the timeline. Bigfork in the man-to-man. Poked away by Davey. Davey with the steal. They go coast to coast. Davey off the glass. Braden Gunlock right there. Rebound left-handed. Shot. Davey thought she got fouled, but no whistle. But Braden right there to clean it up and put it up. Another rebound for her. Offensive rebound, another 2-point basket. Coulter knocked away by, no, not by Nadeau. It actually goes out of bounds on the pass from Snyder. Bigfork into Peyton, got locked from Davey. Peyton will bring it across the timeline. Over Braden, Ava Davey, Peyton. Underneath, Scout Nadeau looking. Nadeau up, under. And she tries to shoot it. Gets fouled as she's short on the shot, but she'll get 2 free throws here. First team foul the second half on the Lady Falcons. And the second foul on number 34, Kenzie Pickering. Nadeau's first shot up and good. She'll get one more here with 6:48 to go here in the third quarter. And Nadeau with another free throw. In and out, no good. Rebounded there by Skaggs. Gets it up to Coulter. Coulter across the timeline for Florence. Guarded by Peyton. Kicks it out. 3-point shot fake by Schneider. Lewis on the drive. Lewis going down, but they're going to call a foul on Madison Chapius. That's her first team foul on the Valkyries here in the second half. Coulter gets the ball inbound. Top of the key, guarded by Peyton Gunlock. Over to Lewis. Lewis right side, guarded by Chapius. Feeds it underneath. Davey on Snyder. The whistle Davey for the foul. And looks like Schneider will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Second one on Davey. Second team foul here in the second half on the Valkyries. Shot up, no good, off the rim. Bounces back. And she'll get one more. Second shot by Snyder on the way is good. And Peyton Gunlock across the timeline for Bigfork. Over to Braden, back to Peyton. Peyton looking. Braden, 3-point shot from the left side, looks good, and it falls down. Tingling the twine is Braden Gunlock. Up by 30, 47-17 on Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Lewis kicks it out. Schneider, crossover, guarded by Davey, out in the corner. Lewis trying to drive, spin move, loses it out of bounds. It'll be off Bigfork. Falcon basketball. Taylor Payette, the 32, Taryn Applehands in for Florence, replacing Skaggs and Lewis. 16 seconds left on the shot clock. Braden gets the steal for Bigfork. Looking up the court. Gunlock up. Right into Coulter. Coulter steals it away. Up and under is Schneider. And a nice up and under pump fake by Schneider to score 2 for Florence. Peyton quickly up. Ava Davey. Look about. Cross court. 3-point shot from Braden. Off the rim. No good. Run down there by Florence. Schneider with the basketball. Shout out to Jack and Donna. Gannier listening from Bigfork. Thanks for tuning in today. In the corner, Payette guarded by Braden Gunlock, right corner. Goes cross court. Pickering with the basketball. Out to Schneider, left side. Underneath, knocked away by Bigfork. Florence comes up with a loose ball. Pickering underneath the Payette. Knocked away, stolen away by Davey. Davey quickly up Nadeau. Nadeau cross to Peyton Gunlock. Peyton looking up, under drive, off the glass. And a blocking foul. And Peyton Gunlock will go to the line to shoot 2. That'll be on Payette, number 10. That is her 4th, second team foul. And Peyton Gunlock for the Valkyries at the line to shoot 2. Shot up, off the rim, no good. She'll get one more. Trista Williams back in for Payette for Florence. Trista, a 6-foot senior for head coach Brian Newman. Gunlock, one more. Up this one time. Finds nothing but the bottom of the net. 48-19 on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. Schneider will give it over to Coulter. Coulter, Peyton Gunlock right there, man-to-man defense. Chapius guarding Pickering. Over, underneath, knocked away by Chapius. Nice defense as Schneider tries to get it underneath the Pickering. And Schneider will inbounds for Florence on the near side in her own basket. Schneider looking, gives it up, and knocked away by Peyton. And Peyton's going to get called for the personal. Her first third-team foul on the Valkyries here in the second half with 4:27 to go. In the corner, Coulter can't even catch the pass. Goes right out of bounds, right through her hands, and turnover to Bigfork. 48-19 on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. Peyton into Davey, back to Peyton. Peyton will bring it across the timeline for the Valkyries. Over to Braden. Back to Peyton. Back to Braden. 3-point shot. Braden is good. By Braden Gunlock for 3. Quickly up. Schneider across the timeline. Guarded by Davey. Davey goes up, tries to throw it away. Davey just stands right there, brings the basketball, and Bigfork will take a full timeout. 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. It is the Bigfork Valkyries 51, the Florence Lady Falcons 19. I'll be back here after this timeout from Florence, Montana. Welcome back to Florence. It's like Mary Jensen's listening. Matt saying a little harder to keep cornered tonight. Thanks for the picture there, Matt. Bigfork basketball with 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter after they called the timeout. And leading 51-19. Inbound to Peyton Gunlock. So the starter's back in for Bigfork. Peyton top of the key looking. Gonna set it up. Braden Gunlock. Back to Peyton. Peyton looking to drive. Looking, dishes over to Davey. Davey thought about the three-point shot. Back out to Peyton. Over to Braden on the left side. Braden looking to drive. Gets it out to Peyton. Peyton, long three on the way out the rim, no good. Braden with those long arms, grabs the rebound. Kicks it out to Peyton. Nadeau, back to Peyton. At the top of the key. Nadeau, free throw line. Back out to Peyton. In the corner, Chapius. Chapius up, under. And the call traveling on Chapius as she tries to kick it out. 34 Pickering. Man, 24 Lewis back in the ballgame for Florence. Here with 3:24 to go here in the third quarter. Schneider with the basketball for Florence. Over to Lewis. Lewis, left side, looking to drive. Skaggs. Out to Apple hands, back to Schneider. Looks underneath, tries to throw it back door to Lewis. And that pass misses her, goes out of bounds. Turnover to Bigfork. Peyton into Davey, back to Peyton. Gunlock will bring it up the court across the timeline. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Davey back to Gunlock. Peyton looking underneath. Back out to Davey. Davey looking. Peyton. Thought about the three. Gives it up to Nadeau. Nadeau looking. Left side. Drives it up. And right through two defenders. Scout Nadeau scores with a layup for two. Over to Lewis. Or excuse me, Skaggs. Over to Applehands. Applehands. Top of the key to Lewis. Lewis looking for Schneider. Schneider guarded by Davey. Schneider gives it up to Skaggs. Skaggs, right wing, guarded by Chapius. Looking to drive. And we'll see. And they'll call a personal foul on the push by Chapius. Her second 14 foul. 21. Coulter back in the lineup for Florence. Florence inbounding. Gets it up. Lewis. Lewis guarded by Peyton. Braden's going to take it as she makes a steal coast to coast. Braden Gunlock off with the right hand. Scores two. Into Schneider. Schneider will give it over to Coulter. Coulter right side. Guarded by Braden Gunlock. Braden with those long arms. Reaches up and takes it away. Quickly up. Finds Davey. Davey up. Under. Off the glass. Scores two. On a nice feed there by Braden Gunlock. Ava Joe Davey puts the bucket in. Schneider, Coulter. Coulter looking underneath. Will give it up. Skaggs, Pickering off the glass, no good. Nadeau comes down with the rebound for Bigfork. Gives it up to Peyton Gunlock. Gunlock across the timeline. Looking to set it up. Screen set by Scout Nadeau. Floater. Nice floater through the lane by Peyton Gunlock for two. So up by 40. Now the clock will run the rest of the ball game as the Bigfork Valkyries lead by 40 here in the third. Lewis knocked away by Braden. Peyton gets on the floor. Grabs it. Schneider going to score. Nadeau is going to foul her. And two free throws are going to be coming up for the Lady Falcons. Number 22, Scout Nadeau. Her fourth, fifth team foul. And at the line, Schneider will shoot two. First shot off the back of the rim. Hits the backboard and drops. She'll get one more. And Williams, along with 32, Applehands back in for Florence. So a running clock the rest of the way. Under 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Schneider's second shot up and good. Peyton Gunlock, one shot. Coach is calling out. Let's hold for one. Braden, left side, back out to Peyton. Peyton looking to drive. Chapius, Braden Gunlock, three-point shot on the way, off the rim, no good. Rebounded there by Pickering. Coulter quickly up, trying to come up the right side. And steps out of bounds. Ball will go out of bounds. And the clock's going to run down here in the third quarter. So three complete here from Florence, Montana. It's the Bigfork Valkyries 59. The Florence Lady Falcons 21. on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. I'll be back with the fourth quarter as Jort, Gambala, and Kenny Wade check in for the Valkyries. And they'll be playing with Chapius and Braden Gunlock here in the fourth quarter. I'll be back here from Florence, Montana momentarily. All right, we're back in Florence, and it'll be Bigfork basketball here. 8 minutes to go in this ball game, and the Valkyries lead 59-21 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. Fourth quarter brought to you by Gilliard Painting. Jort inbound to Kenny Wade. Wade back to Jort, back to Wade. Over to Jort, right wing. Thought about the three. Going to kick it out. Braden Gunlock. Kenny Wade. Looking, finds Gambala. Gambala drives up, puts it in. Right down the middle, middle of the key. And two for Callie Gambala. Snyder across the timeline, guarded by Wade. Snyder looking up underneath, finds Tristan Williams, but Braden Gunlock right there with the steal. Braden finds Chapius. Chapius up, left hand, off the glass, scores it for two by Madison Chapius. And a nice left-handed layup by Madison, the senior. Snyder over to Coulter. Coulter got it by Jort. Gives up her dribble. This is that Wade tries to take it away. Pickering off the glass, no good. Krista Williams right there at the rebound, right there. Puts it back up as she got the rebound and had position on Braden. Braden didn't want to foul there. So 2 points for Trista Williams. Jort quickly into Gambala. Gambala looking to drive. Kicks it. Chapius underneath, finds Gambala. Out to Jort. Jort looking to drive. Jort, shot on the way. Gambala gets the rebound. Underneath, Chapius. Chapius off the glass with the right hand for two for Bigfork. 65-23 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. Here with 6:30 to go in the ball game. Snyder, give it over to Applehands. Back to Pickering. Pickering on the drive. Left hand off the glass, no good. Right there, Bigfork getting the rebound. Is Chapius. They'll call held ball. It'll be Florence basketball. Number 12 for Bigfork. Captain Lambrecht comes back in for the Valkyries, and checking in for the first time, number 12, Haley Shera. And Taylor Payette, number 10, back in the lineup for Florence. It'll be Florence basketball underneath their own basket. Under 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Gets it underneath. Payette throws it over to Gambala. Right there's Haley Snyder. Haley Shera kicks it over and knocks it to Jort. Jort with the basketball. Jort cross timeline. Looking. Kenny Wade back to Jort. Jort looking underneath Shera. Shera at the free throw line. Underneath. Tried to find Lambrecht on the baseline, but taken away by Lewis. Lewis looking quickly up the court. It looked like she traveled there. Double clutch. Coulter on the drive. And a foul called on Bigfork. 30. That's Jort. Her third 16 foul. 32. Applehands back in for Florence, replacing Snyder. And 34. Kenzie Pickering back in the lineup, replacing Quinn Skaggs. Florence inbounding. Pickering gets the basketball. Out. Coulter, three-point shot off the glass, no good. Afton Lambrecht with the ball. Quickly throws it up. Lewis steals it. It was meant for Jort. Lewis. Coulter on the drive. Looking. Shera blocks it, but got it with the body. And that is Haley Shera's first personal 7th team foul at the line. Shooting two, number 21, Olivia Coulter for Florence. Shot up, in and out, no good. 23, Quinn Skaggs back in the lineup, replacing Josie Lewis. And Schneider at the line, or at the scorer's table to check in for Coulter, the free throw shooter. Shot up is good. And Schneider will come in for the Lady Falcons. 3:56 and counting here in the ball game. Gambala gets it into Wade. Wade, all the subs in quickly. Shara, Jort. Jort right side out to Wade. Wade looking to drive, gives it up to Gambala. Far side, Jort. Baseline jumper by Jort. A little bit short. And Lambrecht tried to grab the rebound, knocks it out of bounds. And Trista Williams and Josie Lewis back in for Florence. Snyder across the timeline for Florence. We'll give it over to Lewis. Lewis, left side, guarded there by Afton Lambrecht. Over to Applehands. Skaggs wanted to shoot the three. Schneider right there, guarded by Jort. Throws up the three, partially blocked. Trista Williams up underneath, kicks it out. Lewis, three-point shot on the way is good by Josie Lewis. Into Jort. So Bigfork playing all their subs. Jort will give it up to Wade. Wade left side. Out to Jort, top of the key. Finds Wade underneath. Shara. Shara to Jort. Jort. Gambala. Wade. After Lambrecht. Baseline jumper off the rim. No good. And rebound to Schneider. Quickly up to Lewis. Lewis up and under. And a nice reverse layup by Josie Lewis. And timeout taken by Florence. A full timeout as 34. Kenzie Pickering back in for Florence. We'll take a full timeout as well here. And 2:21 to go here in the ball game. Valkyries up 65-29 on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. All right, it'll be Bigfork basketball. Here, 2:21 to go in the ball game, up 65-29 on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. Jort to inbound to Wade. Wade will break it up and across the timeline for the Valkyries. Over to Jort, right side. Back to Wade. Underneath to Lambrecht. Oh, knocked away. Shara. Whistle blows. Looks like fouls on number 23. Yep, her first 13 foul. 23 is Quinn Skaggs. Number 10, Taylor Payette. 21, Olivia Coulter back in for Florence. Bigfork, Jort to inbound. Gives it to Gambala. Back out to Wade. Wade looking. Jort. Three-point shot. Off the grass. No good. Afton Lambert with a nice rebound. And they call held ball. It'll remain Bigfork basketball. 1:36 and counting here. And Jort to inbound here on the near side on their own basket. Trista Williams comes back in for Florence, replacing Pickering as the clock winds down. Jort gets it up. Shara, Wade, Gambala underneath. Jort puts up the jumper. Good by Ellie Jort inside the three-point line for two. And Coulter will give it over. Schneider underneath, going to get it to Trista Williams. Williams off the glass for two for Florence. Gambala up to Jort. 50 seconds to go, 35 seconds or 33 seconds on the shot clock. Jort looking. Afton Lambrecht, right corner. Jort, Wade. Baseline, Gambala looking underneath. Finds Afton Lambrecht. Lambrecht going up to shoot. Gets fouled. She'll get 2 free throws. 32, Taryn Applehands with the foul. 14 foul. And 23 and 21, Skaggs and Lewis back in for Florence. First shot off the rim, no good by Afton. She'll get one more. Second shot on the way. This one's the rim, no good. Rebounded by Gambala. Bring it out. Don't need to shoot. 5 seconds to go. Shooting it up off the glass. Kenny Wade scores at the buzzer. And your final 69-31 for your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. The Valkyries win this one going away. I'll try to get post-game. Let me get you post-game stats here. And I'll be back with those and maybe an interview from the coach before we get ready for the Vikings and Falcons here from Florence, Montana. Your final Bigfork Valkyries 69, the Florence Lady Falcons 31, as the Valkyries move to 9-0 on the season. Next ball game, they'll take on the Eureka Lady Lions at home Tuesday. I believe it gets underway at 4 o'clock with C-Squad, followed by JV and Varsity. And then next Saturday, we'll head to Mission in a doubleheader. I'll be back from Florence, Montana momentarily. Well, back in Florence, and we're getting ready for the boys' game, but I'm going to wrap up the stats. I might talk to the girls at halftime here. Let me get your full game stats here from the girls' game here. Coulter with 2 points. Schneider, 8 points. 5 for Lewis. Pickering with 6. And leading the way, Williams with 10 points. 8 the first 16. And then overall 31 for them. For the Valkyries, looking at overall scoring, Chapius, I thought I captured it here. That must be just a halftime. I got to get the right picture here. Let me go the right direction. Here we go. Got my phone turned upside down, so Chapius had a heck of a ball game tonight. 15 for her, 10 for Ava Davey. Nice job. 2 for Lambrecht. 23 for Braden Gunlock. Nadu with 2. 5 for Jort. Wade with 2. And 7 for Peyton Gunlock. Overall, they win this one 69-31. Well, post-game brought to you by the Montana Athletic Club. That'll wrap it up. And I'll spin up the boys' side here momentarily. I got a special guest on my pregame show coming up. And we'll get the starting lineups and everything here from Florence, Montana. That's your final, 69-31. The Valkyries move 9-0 on the season. I'll be back on the flip side for the Falcons and the Vikings here from Florence, Montana.